So you have an exhaustive list of the tasks that need to be accomplished in order to see the big picture vision finally fulfilled and in fully functioning operation. You have unrestricted use of time and money, and there's no limitations, and you've got this big old list, and you're looking, how is this going to be accomplished? That is a lot of stuff to do, and some of it I don't even know how to do. Well, I'm going to share with you in this video exactly what your next step, what you're going to do with this exhaustive list. Hopefully you have at least 100 things on this list that's going to help you in the future to understand more of what needs to be accomplished. But what you do is, with this sloppy list, you have this list of unorganized tasks that need to be accomplished. You want to identify a couple things. One, you have to see you want to see a pattern in some of these lists. You want to group the tasks together that are similar to each other. This is why I like to use digital pages, because it makes cutting and pasting so much easier of reorganizing your notes that you're not able to do as easily on written pages. You're going to have to rewrite everything or cut it up or do it on sticky notes or something else. But that's why digital pages like Notion or Google Docs are really helpful at this point. So you're looking for patterns, you're looking for groups that you can identify things with. Um, and you want to see some groups are going to have in common, like maybe you see graphic design. There's different graphics that need to be designed. Maybe, or if you're putting together a YouTube team, you'll see that some things have to do with titles and descriptions and metadata and things that deal with SEO, search engine optimization, and ranking and keywords. And you see that there's like this theme, that there's this like SEO type thing going on, and then others you find are more mechanical. It's just a matter of uploading, scheduling, or adding annotations or cards or in-video programming or whatever the case may be. And you see that some of those are just more in that direction, where other tasks might include broadcasting, like posting to social media, going on Facebook and reaching out to blogs and seeing if they want to host the content, or things that are more of like the publishing nature, or engaging with the audience, or asking those questions, or answering comments, or responding to those. So you're able to group these different tasks that are related to each other. Maybe for cooking, you'll find that the dishes need to be washed every single time after the meal. The table needs to be set. The trash needs to be taken out. Groceries need to be shopped for, and meals need to be planned. And um, every there's these same type of cooking that need to be done. Maybe there's the preparation of vegetables and salad that has to be done at every single lunch, and at every vegetable meal, or whatever the case may be. You're noticing that there's a certain theme that is connecting some of these tasks together. Well, put those together and group them together. They're going to really help you. So these revolving tasks, I want to give you three lists that are going to help you to understand this a little better. And that's things that things that you don't like to do; two, things that you can't do, you don't know how to; and three, things that you just shouldn't be doing. So let's look at the things that you don't like to do. One thing that I've realized is that when people are living in their gifts and their passions, the things that God has put on their heart, where Psalm says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of your heart. There are certain burdens, interests, passions, backgrounds that God has really put on you as an individual. You as a leader, you have unique skills and strengths that where you bring the greatest value to the team. And you you find that there are some things that, like for me, for example, I find video communication one of the easiest ways to communicate to people. I have difficulty, like I may be good at writing, I might be skilled at writing, and communicating through that way. I'm even a fast typer, but I really, really do not like writing. I don't like typing. I don't like proofreading, grammar, punctuation, that stuff. That's not my cup of tea. Can I do it? Yes. Am I good at it? Absolutely. Do I enjoy it? No. Graphic design. Graphic design is something where I've taught many graphic designers. A lot of the people who first got started with our first ministry, Walks with God Ministries, a lot of them started as graphic designers, created systems, connected them with resources, gave them feedback how they can improve their work, and I could look at graphics and see when there's something wrong. I could take photos of different angles and lighting. It's something that I'm studied into. I was in advanced digital media, took photography classes in school. Do I like photography? No. Do I like graphic design? No. Do I like the visuals and the colors and the things like that? No, I don't. And I like it far less in writing. That is not my style, my interest, my skill set. That's not something that I like to do. Can I do it? Sure, but I that's not where I'm going to bring the greatest value. So what you as a leader need to recognize is, hey, that's okay. We want to outsource our weaknesses, leverage our our weaknesses, bring other people that who excel in those areas, and then the things that we're strong in, double down, triple down, quadruple down, focus on that, and recognize that where you bring the most value is going to make the biggest difference in your team, in your organization, in your ministry, in your business, whatever the case is. you your goal as a leader is to do only the things that you can do and delegate the rest. It's Good time management isn't about doing more in less time. It's about doing less better. And the less that you do has a greater impact on the organization because it's the things that only you can do. But think about in a military, if you have a if you have someone who's doing something that like 30 people can accomplish, and they have responsibilities that if they don't do it, it won't get done, and 500 people are affected when they don't do that one thing that they can do, then it's it's harder to justify doing something that 30 people can do when there's something that only they can do. And sometimes we got to do that. We want to be faithful in that which is least. But when you're making this list and you're developing your team, you want to identify, at least for brainstorming, what are some of the things that you don't like to do. And then number two is list the things that you can't do. A big thing that I had to learn is that God has professionals in his church. At first, when I started the ministry, Walks God Ministries, like 6, 7 years ago, I thought if something needed to be done, I would learn it. If there was graphic design that needed to happen, I'd do it. If there's a website to build, I didn't know how to build a website. That's why I took advanced digital media, and because I wanted to learn how to build a website. But the teacher went on Adobe conventions. He was gone. We had substitutes, and it was a fiasco. And I didn't actually learn how to build a website until after school. I went to YouTube University, and I really learned. WordPress was amazing. But all of these different things, if I needed to speak, I'd go out and speak. And if I needed to learn how to if I needed to learn any skill, I'd figure it out, and I'd take that steep learning curve. And that's one of the things that would really slow things down, is because in order to make any progress, I had to start from scratch. I had to learn how to do these things. But then I realized the power of a team and how much we need to work together. And where I may not have a burden in graphic design, you might love graphic design. I know Christina, she thrives on graphics. And Rebecca from Trinidad, we've worked with her, and she is a wonderful graphic designer. She's a quick learner. She's got the eye for it. She enjoys it. She's passionate about it. And when we build a team together, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could apart. There's a reason why God represented the church as a body. that each body has different organs and members playing a very special role. In like manner, every team is like a body. Maybe a team could be more like an organ, and the cells are the individual people. Your ministry could be like a system in the body of Christ, where you might have like the reproductive system, you might have the circulatory system, the nervous system, the lymphatic system. Your ministry plays a special role, and it might have different teams, and each team is like an organ, and each organ is made out of tissues and cells and other minor teams that work together. So there's the intricacies, but there's an interdependency. Again, team stands for together everyone achieves more, and you realize that. So I'm realizing that the learning curve to try to figure everything out ourselves is too expensive. I just can't afford that. The time that it costs to learn everything from scratch. And I realize that someone who can focus, even if like an individual doesn't fully understand all that needs to be done in a specific area, if they can focus on that one thing and they can do that well, then that is going to be far greater than if I try to focus on 20 people, because 20 things, and we just can't do that. I've learned I'm willing to buy a course to train our team members how to do something very, very well, something with focus that I don't know how to do, far more than for me to take the course myself or try to figure it out with all the free mass of information all over the place that's hard to wade through. And it's good to identify the things that you can't do and just be willing to involve some people in it. And the list number 3 is these are the things that you shouldn't be doing. Yes, as leaders, we often have our to-do list and we're checking it twice, but what I encourage leaders to do is develop a to-don't list. You need to be clear on the things that you shouldn't be doing. Think about it. Anytime you say yes to anything, that means you are saying no to an infinite number of other things you could be doing. Let me say it again. Anytime you say yes to anything, that means you're saying no to an infinite number of other things. You want to make sure that what you're saying yes to is actually what you need to say yes to. Ask yourself, where do you bring the greatest value to the team, to the organization? And you want to be focusing on those areas where you're the strongest, the things that only you can do. And when everyone's doing only the things that they can do, the whole ministry, the whole team is strengthened and playing a very unique part. So these are the lists that make that help you to see the value, but you want to group these tasks together into similar themes or functions or ideas or skill set, similar activities, similar passions, similar interests, similar things that they would be locations or skill levels. These are the type of things that you're looking for, these commonalities that are going to help you to group them together. And there's 2 different types of tasks. There's revolving tasks that need to be done on a consistent basis, and then there's project tasks that really just need to be done once for a project one time, and you won't really need that anymore again. It's good to be aware that these revolving tasks you definitely want to group together, and the project you want to see, you still want to categorize together what are the skill set, the passions, interests, and group those together, but just differentiate in your mind. Maybe even put revolving or project next to R or P next to whichever task it is, so that you know the different kind of task it is. But that's step number 4 of the 7 steps of developing a team, is identify a group of tasks that are similar together and group them together. And in step number 5, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do with this group and why you're grouping them together.